Almeria, Spain. Tabernas Desert, August 1964. Sunday morning, 6:15 a.m. The desert is silent. Not quiet, silent. No birds, no insects, no wind. Just the kind of stillness that makes a person aware of their own heartbeat, their own breathing, the sound of boots on sand. Clint Eastwood walks alone through the landscape. Red earth, gray rocks, mountains in the distance that look like they haven't changed in 10,000 years. The sun is just breaking the horizon, long shadows, cool air that will be gone in 2 hours, replaced by heat that makes cameras too hot to touch. He's been walking for 40 minutes, left the hotel in Almeria before anyone else woke up, drove the rental car 20 miles into the desert, parked on the side of a dirt road, started walking. No destination, no plan, just walking, thinking. Clint is 34 years old. He's at a crossroads, the kind that doesn't announce itself with signs or warnings, just shows up one morning and demands a decision. Behind him in Los Angeles, Rawhide, 7 years playing Rowdy Yates, steady work, steady paycheck. $750 per episode, which is good money in 1964. The show is successful. Millions of viewers. He's recognized on the street, has a fan base. It's everything most actors dream of. But the show is also a prison. The same character week after week. The same storylines recycled with minor variations. The same limitations. Television doesn't take risks. Television gives audiences what they expect. Nothing more, nothing less. 2 months ago, CBS renewed Rawhide for an 8th season. Clint's contract automatically renewed with it. Another year locked in. Another 217 episodes stretching ahead into the future. And here in Spain, Sergio Leone, A Fistful of Dollars, a Western unlike anything American television would ever produce. Dark, violent, morally ambiguous. The main character barely speaks, just acts, survives, kills without remorse or explanation. It's everything Rawhide isn't, everything television isn't, everything Hollywood isn't. And it terrifies Clint, not the character, not the violence, but the implications, because if he commits to this, if he believes in Leone's vision, if he gives everything to this strange Italian Western that might never be seen in America, he's walking away from safety, from the known, from the career he's built. And if the film fails, if it disappears, if no one watches it, he's back to square one. A TV actor who took a chance on art and lost. Clint stops walking, stands in the middle of the desert. Nothing around him but space and silence and time to think. He's been avoiding this moment for 3 weeks. The first 2 weeks in Rome at Cinecittà Studios, he told himself he'd decide later. Then the 3rd week shooting exteriors here in Spain, he told himself he had time. The film wasn't done yet. The decision could wait. But this morning, lying in his hotel bed at 4 a.m., unable to sleep, he realized the decision couldn't wait anymore because Leone offered him something yesterday, after filming wrapped for the day. After the crew went back to the hotel, Leone pulled Clint aside, spoke in broken English. "Clint, I want to make 2 more films, for a few dollars more, then The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Same character, same style, bigger budgets, better locations, 3 films total, a trilogy." Clint listened, said nothing. Leone continued, "But I need to know you are committed. I need to know you will do all 3 films. I cannot make the trilogy with different actors. It must be you. The man with no name must be you. When would we shoot?" "Next year, 1965, then 1966, back to back. You would spend most of 2 years in Europe making these films. And Rawhide?" Leone shrugged. "You would have to choose." There it was. The decision, made explicit. No more postponing. No more telling himself he'd figure it out later. Choose Rawhide. Choose safety. Choose the steady paycheck and the known quantity. Go back to Los Angeles and play Rowdy Yates for another 3 years until the show finally dies of old age. Or choose Leone. Choose risk. Choose art. Choose the unknown and hope it leads somewhere worth going. Clint looks at the horizon. The sun is higher now. The temperature is rising. The desert is waking up. He thinks about his father, Clint Eastwood Sr., a man who worked steel mills and factories his whole life, followed the work during the Depression, Oregon, California, Washington. Wherever there were jobs, that's where they went. His father never had choices, never had the luxury of deciding between safety and risk. Safety was the only option. Keep the family fed, keep the lights on, keep moving forward. And here's Clint, his son, with choices his father never dreamed of. The chance to walk away from steady work to chase something that might be art or might be nothing. His father would probably tell him to keep rawhide, keep the steady check. Don't gamble with security. But his father never had to play the same character for 7 years. Never had to repeat himself week after week until the work became mechanical, until showing up was the job, not the craft. Clint thinks about something his acting teacher said years ago in Los Angeles, when Clint was taking night classes and working construction during the day, when acting was a dream, not a career. The teacher said, most actors spend their whole lives playing it safe, taking the jobs that pay, doing the work that's offered, and they wonder why they're never satisfied, why the work never fulfills them. It's because they're waiting for permission to take risks, waiting for someone to tell them it's okay to choose art over money. But that permission never comes. You have to give it to yourself. Clint didn't understand it then. Thought it was pretentious. Thought it was the kind of thing teachers say because they couldn't make it as working actors. But standing here in the desert, he understands. No one is going to tell him which choice is right. No one can. Because both choices are valid. Both have merit. Both lead somewhere. The question isn't which is right. The question is which is true, which is honest, which is the choice he can live with in 10 years, 20, 50. And suddenly, standing in the silence of the Spanish desert, the answer becomes clear. Clint has played safe his entire career. Took the studio work in the 1950s, took rawhide when it was offered, followed every opportunity that felt secure and turned down opportunities that felt risky. And it worked. It got him here, got him steady work and recognition and a decent living. But it didn't get him art, kind of work that matters beyond the paycheck. Didn't get him the thing he's been chasing since he first decided to be an actor. The chance to do something real. Leone is offering something real. Maybe it's commercial suicide. Maybe it's career destruction. Maybe it's 3 films that disappear without a trace. But it's real. It's specific. It's someone with vision asking him to be part of that vision. And rawhide, steady, safe, reliable rawhide, is just more of what he's already done. Another year of repeating himself, another year of playing it safe. Clint realizes he's been afraid, not of failure, of regret, of looking back in 20 years and wondering what would have happened if he'd taken the risk, if he'd chosen art over security, if he'd trusted his instincts instead of playing it safe. That fear is worse than anything failure could bring. Because failure ends, regret doesn't. The decision is made. He doesn't feel relief exactly, doesn't feel excitement, just certainty. The kind that comes from knowing you've chosen the harder path because it's the honest one. Clint walks back to the car, drives back to Almeria, back to the hotel where the cast and crew are having breakfast, planning the day's shoot. Leone sits at a table near the window, coffee and cigarettes, reading that morning's Spanish newspaper even though he doesn't speak Spanish. Clint sits down across from him. Leone looks up, sees something in Clint's face, sets down the newspaper. Clint says 4 words. I'll do the trilogy. Leone's face doesn't change, but his eyes show something. Relief, gratitude, recognition that the American actor just committed to something most American actors would run from. You will leave rawhide? I'll finish this season. Honor the contract. Then I'm done. CBS will not be happy. CBS will find another actor. They always do. Leone nods slowly, lights a cigarette, offers one to Clint. Clint shakes his head. You understand, Leone says carefully. These films may not be seen in America. You may become famous in Europe and unknown at home. I know. You may lose the American audience you have built. I know that too. Then why? Clint thinks about how to answer. How to explain something he barely understands himself. Because I'd rather fail doing something that matters than succeed doing something that doesn't. Leone smiles. Real smile. Rare of him. Then we make something that matters. They shake hands across the table. A deal made with no lawyers, no contracts, no paperwork. Just two men committing to 3 films that don't exist yet, based on nothing but belief that they can make something worth making. The crew finishes breakfast. The production moves to the day's location. They shoot until the heat becomes unbearable. Then shoot some more. And Clint gives everything. Every scene, every take. Because he's not playing it safe anymore. Not holding back in case it doesn't work. He's committed. All in. 3 weeks later, a fistful of dollars wraps. Clint flies back to Los Angeles. Back to Rawhide for the 8th season. The cast and crew notice something different. He's more focused, more present. Not phoning it in, but not settling either. Doing the job with professionalism, but no longer pretending it's enough. Between episodes, he calls his agent. Tells him not to negotiate for season 9. Tells him this is the last year. After this, he's done with television. The agent argues. Clint, you're walking away from guaranteed money, from stability, from everything you've built. I know. To make Italian westerns that might never be released in America? Yes. That's insane. Maybe. But it's my decision. The agent sighs. Your funeral. Don't come crying to me when Leone's films go nowhere and you can't get work. Clint hangs up. Doesn't argue, doesn't explain. Just moves forward. April 1965. Rawhide's 8th season ends. Clint wraps his final episode. Says goodbye to the cast and crew. Some of them think he's making a mistake. Most of them just wish him luck. May 1965. Clint is back in Spain. Shooting for a few dollars more. Bigger budget. Better script. Leone more confident. The character deeper, more complex. The film is better than the first. Everyone knows it. September 1965. A Fistful of Dollars is released in Italy. Becomes a phenomenon. Not just successful, massive. Lines around the block. Everyone talking about the American actor with no name who barely speaks and kills without hesitation. December 1965. The film spreads across Europe. Germany, France, Spain. Everywhere the same reaction. This is something new, something different. Clint becomes famous, but only in Europe. In America, he's still just the guy from Rawhide who quit for some reason. May 1966. Shooting The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. The biggest budget yet. The most ambitious. An epic. 3 hours long. Civil War battle scenes. Hundreds of extras. Ennio Morricone's score becoming legendary during recording sessions. Leone is making his masterpiece, and Clint is the center of it. Not because he's the most talented actor, because he made the choice to be there, to commit, to risk everything on a vision that didn't exist yet. December 1967. The trilogy finally reaches America. United Artists picks it up for distribution, markets it as something exotic, foreign, different. American critics are confused. Who is this actor? Why is he in Italian westerns? Why doesn't he talk? American audiences don't care about the critics' confusion. They see something real, something different, something that feels honest in a way Hollywood westerns haven't felt in years. The films make millions, turn Clint Eastwood from a TV actor into an international movie star, launch a career that will last 60 years and counting, all because of a decision made alone in a desert in August 1964. All because Clint chose risk over safety, art over security, the unknown over the known. 1971, Dirty Harry. Clint is the biggest star in America. The role almost went to Frank Sinatra, almost went to John Wayne. but neither of them had the edge Clint developed playing the man with no name, the willingness to be cold, silent, dangerous. Dirty Harry makes $36 million, launches a franchise, defines Clint's career for the next decade. None of it happens without Leone, without the decision in the desert, without choosing risk. 1992, Unforgiven. Clint directs and stars. A Western about aging and regret and violence. The kind of film Hollywood says no one wants to see. It wins 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director. Proves Clint right again. Art matters. Risk matters. Choosing the honest path over the safe path matters. 2024. Clint Eastwood is 94 years old. He's made over 50 films as an actor, directed over 40, won 4 Oscars, built a legacy that transcends any single role or genre. And it all traces back to August 1964, to a morning alone in the Spanish desert, to a choice made without advice or input or permission. The choice to walk away from safety, to commit to art, to trust that doing something real matters more than doing something secure. That's the lesson from the Tabernas Desert. Not about career strategy, not about networking or timing or luck, about knowing yourself well enough to know when safety is actually stagnation, when steady is actually stuck, when playing it safe is actually the biggest risk of all. Because careers built on safety eventually collapse. The work becomes mechanical, the passion dies. The person becomes a machine repeating the same motions until the machine breaks down. But careers built on risk, on the willingness to walk away from security, to commit to vision, to trust that art matters, those last. Those grow, those become legendary. Not because risk always works, it doesn't. Most risks fail, but because the willingness to risk means the willingness to grow, to change, to pursue something beyond paycheck and recognition. And growth is the only thing that sustains a career over decades, the only thing that keeps work interesting, the only thing that turns jobs into art. Clint understood that at 34, standing alone in a desert, facing a choice between steady work and uncertain vision. He chose uncertainty, chose risk, chose Leone and 3 films that didn't exist yet over rawhide and years of security that felt like death. And that choice made him. Not the talent, not the luck, not the timing. The choice, the willingness to walk away from what everyone said was the smart decision. To commit to what felt true, even if it felt terrifying. To trust his instincts over everyone's advice. That's real courage. Not the kind in movies, the kind in life, the kind that happens alone, with no audience, with no one to validate or approve or support. Just a person and a choice and the willingness to live with the consequences. 60 years later, the consequences are clear. The risk paid off. The art mattered. The decision was right. But Clint didn't know that in August 1964. Couldn't know it. Had no guarantee. He just knew he couldn't live with the alternative. Couldn't spend the rest of his life playing it safe and wondering what would have happened if he'd been brave. So he was brave. Alone in the desert, where no one was watching, where no one could validate his choice or tell him he was right. Just him and the silence and the decision. That's where careers are really made. Not on red carpets, not at award shows, not in negotiations or contracts or marketing campaigns. In the quiet moments when no one is watching and the choice is yours alone. Do you play it safe? Or do you risk everything on something that might matter? Clint chose risk. In the desert, in the silence, alone, and built a legend from that choice. Not because the choice was easy, because it was honest. And honesty, even when it's terrifying, even when it risks everything, always wins in the long run. Always.